So hello everyone, welcome to this webinar launching the 2026 edition of DEVOPS REX. In 30 minutes, we hope to provide you with practical information about what the 7th edition of the conference has for you. It will take place this year on 9 and 10 December 2026 at Paris Expo Porte de Versailles. We will be presenting during this webinar the new features of the 26th edition, the venue, and also for the prospective sponsors, some information on the available packages. If you have any question during the presentation, please feel free to ask directly in the chat. We will answer them at the end of this session. So to talk about this new conference, I'm happy to welcome Jonathan Clarke, founder of the conference and head of the program committee. Hello, Jonathan. And Camille Isaac, the sales manager of the conference. Hello, Camille.
Hello.
And myself, so Aurélie, as marketing and communication manager. To start, I have a first question for Jonathan. Could you tell us a bit more about what is DEVOPS REX, how you developed it over the years, and what changes we can expect this year?
Of course. Hi, everyone. So DevOps REX is a conference we started back in 2015 in Paris. It's the Paris edition of what was previously known as worldwidely DevOps Days. So we had DevOps Days Paris 2013, 2015, and then we started DevOps REX in 2016. To put it simply, it's a conference that brings together the DevOps community in Paris, France, and the wider French-speaking world, sorry. And the idea is that we have focused the conference on exclusively what we call in French REX, which is retour d'expérience, so feedback talks. So we've only put on stage people that have actually done something to do with DevOps and come and talk about what they've actually done. The idea behind this is to have a very high quality program with people actually sharing their real life experiences, so that in turn attracts a large audience of people who are interested in hearing their real stories that they can reproduce, tell their colleagues about, apply in their own companies or organizations. And that's been working quite well since we started in 2015, because every year we notice that the audience is more and more present, more and more of them, but also more and more focused on decision makers, which of course in turn makes a great experience for sponsors because there's lots of people that you want to meet. We were lucky enough to launch the conference again after COVID, unlike some conferences unfortunately disappeared after COVID. We're lucky to launch again in 2024. So this will be our third year post-COVID, and since last year went extremely well. We're actually ramping up a little bit this year. So we're going from one single track room to multiple rooms in a new venue. But I think we're going to talk a bit more about that later.
Okay, well, thank you for your input. So the major changes, and we will try to go more in detail during this presentation, are first the new venue, as we said, Porte de Versailles Exhibition Center. The fact that there will be 2 conference rooms, which allow us to double the number of sessions, which would be more attractive for the participants, the attendees. And also, and Camille will comment it later, the layout of the space, which will change, and it will help also the networking in between participants. Let's move straight on to the program for these new editions in more detail. How are you, John, and the program committee planning the next edition?
Well, we're lucky enough to have had a great success, as I was saying, last year. So we have a lot more people, a lot more attendees, and the world of DevOps is becoming a lot wider. When we started, we were convincing people that DevOps was something you should do. And nowadays, every organization that has an IT department is, of course, doing DevOps, or they would not be able to hire anyone at all. So we're no longer talking about why you should do DevOps and how to do DevOps, but DevOps has become a much deeper and broader topic, just integrated amongst many other things. And as a result of that, we're seizing the opportunity of this new venue to have two different conference rooms. There's a multi-track event, and there's going to be at least two talks on at every moment. There's going to be possibly extra workshops as well on the side. The idea for this, of course, is to cover more topics, but it's also to attract more participants, more attendees in general. So we've reworked a little bit the topics we're asking for in our proposals. I think that's the next slide. Thank you. So we've got 6 main themes that we're following. First one is very much our home ground DevOps, strategic DevOps, as it tends to be called nowadays, which is aligning IT teams with value for the organization, whether if it's an online business, obviously more sales. If it's a non-governmental organization, obviously it's helping more people and so on. Second theme is DevSecOps, so how security ties in with developers and operations and continuous deployment. It's been a very important theme for years now. It was our main theme, our most attended theme in 2025. So we're keeping that one going, hoping to get a lot more content this year. I'm introducing a new theme, number 3, which is FinOps. So that's how finance fits into the operations world. So looking not only at how we deploy automatically, what tools we're using, but also how can we make that the most cost effective possible. It's a big topic. It's also a topic that's particularly a center of attention for decision makers. So again, we're hoping this will bring us slightly more decision makers, both in speakers and in attendees. And then we have on number 4, platform engineering, internal developer platforms, in general, what I would call the developer experience. So we're hiring, well, companies nowadays are hiring high-level developers, and we're trying to give them the best experience possible in their job, but also so they are the most productive possible. And that goes to internal developer platforms, measuring satisfaction. And this is almost literally the root of DevOps, but instead of measuring the success on what the company or the organization achieves, we're measuring it on what the developers feel and produce. It's a fascinating topic. There's lots to be talked about. It's new for us. It's not something we've talked about a lot in the past. So we're excited to add that on and maybe broaden again our audience. Number 5 will surprise no one. We're going to be talking about artificial intelligence, same as every conference under the sun, of course, but we are trying to focus more specifically on how AI can help DevOps and how DevOps can help AI. So we're looking for feedback talks around that. People who are actually using AI in real life, real world situations in their DevOps toolchain, or people who have applied DevOps concepts to running AI platforms. And last but not least, our topic we started last year, looking at strategic independence for DevOps teams, for companies in general, but looking at the IT side of it, considering the current geopolitical situation in the world. A lot of companies, particularly over here in France and in Europe more generally, are looking to work with more and more French or European solutions. Politics aside, the interesting part of that is getting people to talk about how you run that kind of migration from your traditional US-centric, say, services to other ones, and how you can run that in a short time frame if necessary. So there we go. So that was a long explanation, but those are our themes. We're hoping to bring a lot of people to the table for our call for proposals, which is opening on Monday. And we're hoping to see a lot of talks submitted on all of these topics to build a great program.
Thank you for your comments. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about the program committee. Who are the people that are along with you working on this topic?
Of course. So since we started the event in 2016, we found that the best way to get good content was to have an independent, neutral program committee. So we have the 5 you can see here are the team leads, shall we say. And we have 15 to 20 people that are part of this committee that are professionals that work in all sorts of different organizations, from government-owned organizations to private businesses, startups to huge corporations. And basically, we're relying on their expertise and their experience to help us find speakers, select talks, vote on all the talk proposals that we receive to ensure the content is both neutral, so no one is paid for this in the program committee, no one has any financial ties to the organization, but also the best quality possible, because the people voting are the people that are actually on the ground doing DevOps at the moment.
Okay, we look forward to announce the call for paper on Monday then. This year, 600 tickets will be available for sales or offered by sponsors and partners. The ticket will include the access to the conference, of course, to 40 around, I think, 40 sessions. Also the visit of the sponsor area. The food is included, the brunch, breakfast, and all the networking aspects. The participant, the attendees will have access to the open source experience exhibition as well. I will comment this a bit later in this webinar. But the idea is to have more networking areas to facilitate the connection between attendees and sponsors in particular. For the 2025 sponsors that are present today, I would like to provide an overview of the key figures of the attendees last year. The conference attracted 411 participants, mainly are from large organizations, so it's mainly big companies, because most of them have, well, 60% of them have more than 250 employees in the company. And among the participating companies, there was a strong representation of the banking and insurance sectors. As you can see in the logos that are presented on this slide, as well as major industrial firms. So next year, we expect that the attendees would be nearly the same. We have to notice that 65% of the participants are decision makers. That's what they comment when they register to the conference. And well, so it's mainly big companies, decision makers, and the right profile for the sponsors that expect to meet DevOps people and professional from IT sectors. As mentioned in the introduction, so the DEVOPS REX conference will take place at Paris Expo Porte de Versailles in the hall 5.2. For those who are familiar with the venue, it's the building on the left when you enter in the exhibition center. But maybe, Camille, you would like to introduce a bit more in detail the new venue?
Yeah, of course. So it's a famous place to organize trade shows and exhibitions in the south of Paris. It's centrally located in Paris, and it's well connected by public transportations. We're so happy because we are more space than last year. So the exhibition will be bigger, and we have 2 different conference rooms. And also it's at a single level, so more accessible for attendees. And then the pavilion is with natural light, so it is more pleasant for people that are coming on the 2 days. So as you can see on this slide, here is the floor plan of the exhibition. The entrance is on the left. And the white zone is the OSXP, so Open Source Experience exhibition. So you have to go through this exhibition to go to the DEVOPS REX zone that is on the right side. You can find the 2 different conference rooms, and the sponsors will be on the side of the 2 conference rooms. So we're looking for 35 sponsors maximum this year. And in the middle, you have the networking area with the business bar in the center, and then the catering and the VIP area. So it's a strategic place to meet the attendees and the sponsors.
Thank you, Camille. Maybe I can give a few words about open source experience, which will be organized in conjunction. It's a trade show for open source solution. It deals with digital sovereignty, resilience, and innovation, thanks to about 130 talks during the 2 days. There will be exhibitors as well, between 80 and 100 exhibitors. And the number of attendees is around 4,000 over the 2 days. It was last year 4,000, and we expect a bit more every year. And what is important and interesting, it's the synergy in terms of quality of visitors for the sponsor of DEVOPS REX, as the sponsors will be able to meet infrastructure director, CIO, well, this kind of level of function. So it's quite interesting. We can send you, if you want, everybody after the webinar, some details about the attendees to this specific show.
And then I will present the sponsorship opportunities. So we have 3 different levels of sponsorship, going from the silver sponsor to the platinum sponsor. The first difference between the sponsorships is the size of the booth. So it's going from 4 to 12 square meters. All the sponsorships give access to the networking breaks and lunch with the attendees. The gold and the platinum sponsorships gives VIP access, so you can meet VIP profiles that the organization select in the attendees. They also have a on-stage presentation pitch. So for the gold sponsor, it's 1 minute, and the platinum sponsor, they have 2 minutes. But the main difference between sponsorships is the visibility and the branding. If you want, there is the detail in the brochure, so I can send the brochure after the webinar. And then the final difference is the guest badges and exhibitor badges. For example, the silver sponsor has 6 invitations, for example, for prospect or clients, and the platinum sponsor has 15. And there are so for the silver sponsor, they can be 2 on their booth, and the platinum sponsor, they can be 8 during the trade show.
That's great. So we expect this year a maximum of 35 sponsors. Most of them will be announced, I think, before July. As I know that I think at the beginning of July there is early bird deadline for all the offers.
So the early bird period is started 2 weeks ago, and the end will be at the end of June. So it's a great opportunity if you want to book a sponsorship. It's less expensive than after July.
Yes, sure. We will send you all the information by email after the webinar. This year, attendees will have access to an improved digital platform. So it's the same platform, but with more features, as for example, the possibility to book appointments with sponsors and to prepare their participation to the event, thanks to themed itineraries. So it's quite convenient to for them to know if they are, for example, more interested in DevSecOps than other topics. I will be able to have a look at the program with a specific focus on DevSecOps and know what are the solutions from the sponsor that would be dedicated. So it's a better way to have a better user experience during the event. So we are at the moment doing all the configuration of this platform, and we will be able to send you a kind of overview of how it works before July, I hope. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye-bye.